Tom has seen the first 3 episodes, and I've seen the entire season. Season 3, The Wheel of Time, on Prime Video. And now we're going to tell you about it. Welcome to Dragonmount. I'm Kathy Campbell. Now, before we get started, I want to give a huge thanks to our Patreon supporters and to Tor Books for sponsoring Dragonmount. We have a lot of great changes coming to our Patreon this season, and we are so excited and can't wait for you to check them out. So visit patreon.com/Dragonmount to support all of the stuff that we're doing both here and on our website. Make sure to like and subscribe, and of course, leave a comment and let us know what you think about the upcoming season. And just so you know, this is going to be a non-spoiler review for the first 3 episodes from Tom, and then I'm also going to provide my thoughts for the whole season. Let's start with Tom.
Lovely folks who work over at the Wheel of Time show at Amazon deemed us worthy for screeners of season 3, and thank the light, because Mother's Milk in a Cup, they're amazing. Really cut weekend in there. That's my feelings for this. Like, if you're coming into this wanting it to be negative, you're going to find negative. But honestly, as a 25-year-long Wheel of Time fan, someone who has a character in the books based off of them, I love this show. And this season is by far the best one yet. First off, I want to do the looks of this show. To sum it up in one word, simply gorgeous. The costuming is next level. The variation of color and texture and material. I paused several times just to look at background characters because they were just so awesome. We all know at this point that we're going to be seeing more of the Aiel in this season. And what lead costume designer Sharon Gillam did with this particular group is just nothing short of Emmy winning. I'm looking at you, Television Academy. They're the ones apparently that vote on who get Emmys or who is nominated. Sharon produced such a unique beauty with a group of people who wear such a limited color palette and are mostly utilitarian in their outfits, except, looking at you, Savannah, that she had me backtracking to re-listen to dialogue. I was just lost in looking at their costumes. When we see some particular favorite characters of the Aiel pop up on screen, I was lost in watching them. Though I really do think my favorite aspect still, even through season 1 and 2, is going to be the Aes Sedai, particularly their costumes, hair, and makeup. The way Sharon Gillam and Davina Lamont capture the Aes Sedai and their uniqueness of culture, personality, and everything within their costumes, hair, and makeup is I love it. It's so great. You can really see how each Aes Sedai comes from a different culture and a different country, different ages, different personalities. It's beautiful. But speaking of Davina Lamont is a multi-award-winning hair and makeup designer and the lead hair and makeup designer on the Wheel of Time television show, which for the layman's at home also includes things like the Trollocs and Myrddraal, or the practical effects on the Trollocs and Myrddraal, like prosthetics and things. Davina and Sharon work a lot together, as you can imagine, more often than not. I had a unique opportunity to speak to both of them together prior to season 2, and they are absolutely lovely. And the passion they have in their work and the camaraderie they share between the two of them was palpable when I got to speak with them. They spoke at the time about working together to come up with a look Tyrian, and their enjoyment in getting to play with a mashup of 13th century France and feudal Japan was just palpable. Listening to them talk about how they played with hair and makeup and clothing of both cultures and also putting it into a fantasy setting was just so much fun. You could really hear the passion and excitement in their voices. And they got to play with their toys together again in this season with the Aiel. Everything from armor and weapons and hair. It was just absolutely beautiful. The Aiel are so individually unique and beautiful that I want to go through and grab a screenshot of Aiel that pops up on screen just to pick out the differences in each one's personal armor and cotton sword. But according to interviews that both Sharon and Davina did for season 3, Tanchico is going to be the one that they had the most fun playing. So Davina had to say that one of her favorite designs was the characters of Tanchico, a world and look that we haven't seen on television before, a wild and raw bunch of ruthless people. This is where we can really go crazy with their looks. And Sharon, on the same thing, said, Tanchico was my favorite, especially because it challenged us to incorporate veils into a society in a new and fresh way. So book readers know that veils are a big thing within Tanchico. Most people wear veils in some form or fashion, regardless of their social standing. So really just be on the lookout for background characters really in all of our settings, just at their costumes and hair and makeup. Like it really encourages watches and rewatches and rewatches and rewatches and Still sticking with the looks for a minute, two men who I lovingly have given the name the Andres, mainly because their names play hell on an English-only speaker with dyslexia. But I'm going to give it a shot saying both of their names, and I'm sorry in advance if I butcher them. Lead production designer, Andre Neckvessel, and lead special effects coordinator, Andre Nerostek. Again, for those keeping track at home, a production designer would be someone that is like leading, building, and designing the sets. And the special effects coordinator is not, as you might think, anything to do with computer effects, but actual practical effects on the set. So, explosions and things. I also had an opportunity to interview the two of them together, and it was so much fun. I don't know why, but my very first thought with seeing the two of them sitting next to each other was just like that they were like cute sitting next to each other. And I'm happy with myself that I got them to laugh when I said that whoever put them together had a sixth sense of humor, because Andre Neckvessel, who was there, builds the sets, and then Andre Nerostek blows them up. They laughed at that, which I will continue to think about as a highlight of my life. The beauty that Andre and his team brought to life seems just really taken right out of the mind of Robert Jordan himself. It just, in one word, it was stunning. The sets are gorgeous, every single one of them. I have absolutely no notes on anything, no feelings in the negative at all on any of the set design. Absolutely gorgeous. And then I was equally as impressed on how Andre blew them up, particularly in episode 1. Seeing the cold open in episode 1 had me really excited for possibilities in the future. Speaking of episode 1 and things that happen, we could talk about the story a little bit. And I will, again, still be non-spoilery, I promise. There's a ton to unpack in the first episode, let alone the first 3. But I'll try to keep it short for y'all. Though this is probably a good time to mention that if you're interested in a more spoiler-filled review, you can check out Dragonmount's YouTube, where Crystal and I are taking a deep dive into the first 3 episodes, screenshots and clips all over the place. And if you're liking our content, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and share our channel with some friends who you might think enjoy as well. We're welcome to all here, even those who don't really like the show, as long as, you can sit around and have a discussion about it and not be toxic. No need to munch on other people's bunch of crunch. Okay, we get taken for quite a ride right off the bat in episode 1, both emotionally and physically, with another 17-minute cold open. Yes, 17-minute cold open. Those of you who watched the 11-minute teaser preview will notice the time difference there. But I will say that is the cold open, just sans a lot of information. So it is still worth watching in its entirety when the episode airs. I will say steel your hearts and gird your loins. It's a doozy. We get tossed right into moral dilemmas, tough decisions, and budding new love, as well as some old flames maybe going out. A few notable changes to some characters' behaviors that was a bit jarring for me at first, but after it cooked a little bit in my brain, I really grew to like it, and I'm interested to seeing how they build out on that particular character. See if you guys can figure out who I'm talking about. I think it'll be pretty easy. There's some trials that our characters go through that were particularly exciting for me to see on screen, both going into those trials and what our characters actually saw in the trials themselves. Not to harken back to set costume, hair, and makeup again, but damn, those scenes and the actors and crew's creativity really, really just shined through. I absolutely loved it. By the end of episode 3, if you're anything like me, you'll end up on your feet, cheering and laughing 1 minute, and then wiping tears away from your eyes for a character from the books that never thought you'd have any emotion other than hate for. And really, that's I can do non-spoilery for those first 3 episodes. I really can't tap myself any further without divulging more info. I'm sure we'll have so many edits to cut out my accidental spoilers already. Really just watch and rewatch and rewatch The Wheel of Time over on Amazon, especially if we want to see a season 4. Make sure to just leave it playing on all your devices in your home as much as you possibly can. With that, I love all of you awesome nerds. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Now, first off, the incredible things. Visually, this season is even more of an upgrade than season 2. Season 1 was good. Season 2 was great. Season 3, whole other world. I cannot even begin to explain to you how many times I paused the show just to look at the incredible visuals that were on the screen. So many massive wallpaper worthy like prints. Just the entire world feels so much bigger than it did before and so much more detailed. I cannot wait for you all to see it. There were so many breathtaking moments with the visual effects, how things were like framed, and the scenery, how the one power was done. Everything was just incredible. For costuming especially, Sharon Gilliam has outdone herself. Her and her team have done some incredible work this season. There is one particular character that shows up that I actually had to stop because I audibly gasped out loud with how incredible this costume was. It was, I know I'm going to say incredible a lot, okay? Because this season was incredible. I can't wait for you folks to see this because it truly is just awe-inspiring. Just like with season 2, hair, makeup, all of that is another step up. Like, it just looks so real. There's so many more battles, so many more, let's say, arguments and moments where the hair and makeup just add an extra little something. It is flawless on the Aes Sedai. When people are having altercations with each other, it still looks stunning in the most like perfect way. It is flawless. And of course, let's talk about the casting. The returning cast feels like they've settled even more into their characters than they did before. There's something really comforting about seeing like the Two Rivers Five and Maureen and Lan and all of these characters that we've grown to love from season 1. It feels like they're even more real. But on top of that, the new cast, oh my goodness, the number of zaddies in the world, let's just say so many attractive people, it should be illegal. Everyone's going to be so impressed with the new cast this season. All of these characters that we know from the books, Fail, amazing. Even the Forsaken that show up, let me just say, y'all are gonna love it. It's so exciting to see this world that we've seen, that we've read, that we've lived with for years come to life. And this season especially feels authentically Wheel of Time. As somebody who's been reading the book since, the early 2000s, it's exciting to see new surprises with the Wheel of Time. And that's something that this show does. There's so much packed into this season, and yet it still feels like Wheel of Time. There are some scenes that book fans have been waiting for that are here, and they are very good. However, there are some things that I know folks are going to be missing. There are a few moments that I wish so desperately had been in the show that were not. And you know what? That's okay, because I know if there had been more time, more episodes, longer episodes, any of this, the thing that gets me through these moments is the fact that I know Rafe tried as hard as he possibly could to get these bits on screen, because these are iconic moments for the books that I know are sad to be missed. So maybe we'll see some behind the scenes or like cuts, or here's stuff we filmed that we couldn't put in the scene, like in the show, like because of time or whatever. I really hope that we get to see those because, again, I know that Rafe loves these bits just as much as we do. But again, there are some moments, especially ones that I know people have speculated would not show up. They're there. Get ready to be swept away with an incredible season. I feel like this season especially is really going to turn around people that maybe have not read the books. You can get friends to watch the other seasons and then watch season 3. They're going to be hooked. They're going to want season 4. This season shows what the show could be without the pandemic, without strikes, without all of these things that I know have affected previous seasons. We're finally to the point where I feel like it's spread its wings and it's ready to go. And I really, really hope that we can get more seasons of this show because this story deserves to be told. And these people deserve to be the ones to tell it. So overall, this season is wonderful. It's high fantasy at its best. It's the Wheel of Time at its best. It's the characters that we know and love being their true selves. It is visually stunning. It's a world that you're going to want to live in. It's a world that you're going to want to hug and embrace and visit over and over and over again. And I cannot wait for you to see season 3 of The Wheel of Time on Prime Video. First 3 episodes come out March 13th. And from there, an episode every week until the end of 8 episodes and the end of the season. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you are so excited, and I hope you come back to Dragonmount to visit and experience what we have to say. I know we have a ton of videos planned. Thom and Crystal will be doing both some non-spoiler and some full spoilers. We have episodes of the podcast that will both video and audio only. Thing that I love about doing the podcast is that we try to keep book spoiler free for the majority of the episode, and then we have special deep dives into what the books mean, what they say. So if you are not a book reader, or if you are currently reading, the podcast is the perfect way for you to enjoy some takes and conversations about the show without having to worry about major book spoilers. There are some that slip through, and we are sorry about that. But either way, I hope you enjoy this upcoming season, and I hope you will come back and visit us here at Dragonmount. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
And that's our show. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. And as always, subscribe, give us a like, a thumbs up, leave us a positive comment. And if you have any friends that enjoy the Wheel of Time, send them over some of our links. I'm sure they'd love to see some new information. Also, a huge thank you to our sponsor, Tor Books, as well as our fantabulous Patreon community. If you are wanting to know more about how this show is made or some other Wheel of Time insights, join our Patreon. You can get some more information, as well as follow Dragonmount on social media. Until next time, we are the Wheel of Time Community Show. Thank you. Goodbye.